Carwin here. We're doing another battle report for the Failed Charge YouTube channel. I'm joined by the illustrious Adam Norris. Adam is the amazing man that paints the vast majority of my armies because he is awesome and I am not at painting. But that's okay, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Anyway, today we're doing a 2,000 point battle. Battle for the Pass is the mission that we'll be playing. We've got the full-on Khorne 4 Thirster list, playing 2,000 points of Skaven. With a couple of big rats in there just for a bit of fun. So we'll come back to you in a few minutes with deployment and the armies, and look forward to getting stuck in and seeing if the rats can hold out against the hordes of Khorne. Right, thanks, see you soon. Okay, here we have 2,000 points of Ratty McRatties ready to go up against the forces of Khorne. We've got the army being led by the Vermin Lord Warpseer. This big fella just there. He's got the Suspicious Stone and the trait that gives him +1 to cast. Then we've got Screech Vermin Lord. Well, this Warp Vermin Lord anyway is subbing in for the Vermin King himself, Lord Screech. Want to give him a nudge, see how that goes. We've got 1, 2, 3 units of clan rats there to take some damage and grab some objectives. 2 warp lightning cannons, 6 Jezzails, 2 little warp block engineers, rattling gun for some more Daka. And then we've got a couple of endless spells, the Geminids and the Quicksilver Swords. All up that comes to 1990 points. I've got plenty of clan rats in the cabinet should the Vermin King bring some more onto the table by nuking some Khorne. But yeah, we'll just see how we go. Should be a bit of fun.
Okay, so this is my 2,000 points of Khorne. You can see up the back there's the 4 Thirsters of Doom, hopefully. The army's led by the big guy with the double axe, one of the Boom Thirsters. And then I've got the Fury and Wrath Thirsters in there as well. Hiding down in front of the Bloodthirsters there's Slaughter Priest, who comes along with his lovely Wrath axe, hopefully. And then the rest of the army, there's 2 units of 5 dogs on the left there, 2 units of 10 Rorder dudes, I guess. And the Bloodthirsters are actually Bestigor for this game. I'm running the Baleful Lords from Wrath of the Everchosen book, so all the Bloodthirsters can run and charge, and so can the Bestigor. So hopefully I can get across the field pretty quick before all the guns shoot me down.
I'm so excited.
You should be.
Woohoo! Let's get into it. Okay, so ready tactics against the well-deployed force of Khorne. So we've got a gnaw hole there. We've got another gnaw hole over there. And then we've got my other gnaw hole at the back here. So I've actually not deployed anything around the gnaw hole just yet because I'm going to save that for some late game shenanigans. So here you've got a unit of clan rats with some commanding. So the big casino dice are the new table, and the little greeny dice are the old table. So we've got some commanding terrain there, some volcanic. 4 is deadly, I think. 1 is damned. We've got a little 2Z in there. I forget what that one is. Arcane, I think. We've got a little 5 over there. There's a spare tree. So we've got a 5 down there. And then we've got the gnaw hole. Then we've got nullification. We've got more damned terrain here. I keep forgetting these because the Khorne is on some realm gate bases. It confuses me. And then over here on that realm gate, we've got a 4 in there. So that's some more deadly terrain. We've got some damned terrain down here. Now, so the idea really is that Warpseer is going to come over here being the general and get some more command points. These guys, because I need range, this V formation is quite tough for me. So the clan rat's going to spread out a bit. Screech is going to start wandering up the side there just to spread out my command point usage. I've got the 1 engineer there. They've both got more warp power. 1 engineer there to help the Jezzails. There's the rattling gun there, and another engineer in there somewhere. There he is, just down there. He's going to support that advance there. So basically we're just going to wander up now. The Khorne have deployed pretty tight as well, as you expect. They're probably just going to rush me real hard. It's going to be very hard for me to stop the Bloodthirsters onslaught, along with we'll call them the Bloodstigors, because they're bloodletters that are subbing in for Bestigor, but that's all cool. So I've just got to try and hold them off as long as possible and let my guns and magic do the work. I've got the Geminids, of course, and the Quicksilver Swords, so that's basically how I'm just going to try and hold them off and nuke them as much as I can until I can come up and take these two objectives and pretty much leave that back one alone unless there's an opportunity for me to do the old sneaky retreat move with the clan rats and get up there and grab that objective that'll be hiding under one of his Bloodthirsters down there. So that's pretty much me. It's going to be a bit of an uphill battle, I think, in this game, but a bit of fun to see if the horde of rats can hold off the tides of Khorne.
Okay, so I've gone super tactical here, and I've clumped everything as far forward as I can to make use of the Baleful Lord's run and charge ability. I've given the first turn to Carwin because I don't want to be closer to his guns than I need to be. So hopefully we'll see how this goes.
Okay, so turn one, after Khorne kindly gave me the rats the first turn, given that I was way out of range all the shooting. That is not the silliest thing and was to be expected. So we've just kind of moved up a bit here. The Vermin Lord Warps here has got closer to the commanding terrain that's here, so that he can get that juicy command point. He got one extra in the hero phase. I popped out the Geminids just to create a little bit of disruption. I've kept the Quicksilver Swords back though for later. They're not any shorter range, but I don't want them coming and chomping me. The Warp Lightning Cannons shuffled up a tiny little bit. The Clan Rats have all kind of moved up. I've elected not to go after the objectives in the first turn. He's going to come rushing forward anyway, but I need to stay back, otherwise I'm going to get chomped if he gets a double turn. The other thing, so Screech has moved up there as well. And then we've got the Rattling Gun is just down amongst there. One of the engineers has moved up a little bit, and these guys are going to sit there. So his job's really going to be to cast Warp Lightning probably. He'll be next turn and our next turn doing some stuff to bump up the Jezzails. The Jezzails did open up. The front Bloodthirster was in the always going to be in range, so 36 inches, and I did 7 wounds to him, which is a pretty good start after munching on a Warpstone token and not taking any damage. So that's the end of the first turn for the rats. Not a lot going on. Failed Mystic Shield as well, which is awesome. So we'll come back shortly with turn 1 Khorne.
Okay, so unpredictably I've just run forward to try and smash some rats. Had a couple of decent good run rolls in there. So Bloodthirster all the way over to the far side of the table there has managed to snag that objective. The other guys have followed up. Bit of shooting's slowed the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster down. And everyone else is just sort of running.
Righto, so now we've got the all-important priority roll. So do you want to grab the dice, Brand? Here we go. Okay, go. So I got a 4 and a 4. Went first, so I get to choose.
Yeah, you need to give it to me now, eh?
Yeah, let's not. Okay, we'll be back with Skaven turn 2. Okay, so Skaven turn 2 has been a bit of fun. So we've got a bit more shuffling around. So we've got the little engineer wandered over there to be able to give a buff to the Warp Lightning Cannon there. The Clan Rat lines moved up a bit. I decided to move these guys up to try and hold off the Bestigor for a bit. At least they're not going to be able to come too far up. And with the Warps here, there's a bit of support with not only his battle shock, but also he's pretty tanky, so I want to see how he goes against those Bestigor. Down here, these guys are still out of range, unfortunately, but I needed to have some shooting. Screech has moved up as well, and as you can see here, got the Geminids out, and the Bloodthirster with the Whip and the Fleshhounds had neg 1 attack. They took 3 mortal wounds each. So I think it killed one of the fleshies. And then the Warp Lightning Cannon and Giselles opened up on the Bloodthirster. Unfortunately, I rolled a 6 for the power of the Warp Lightning Cannon, and because I'd overpowered it, it took 7 mortal wounds, but it's still around for the time being. These guys did what they do. They lost one of their gentlemen to their mortal wounds from the more warp power spell, but with 3 damage each, they just nuked that Bloodthirster in one turn, which is really good. So now I've managed to get 3 victory points this turn, and we'll see how what Khorne can do in Khorne turn 2.
Okay, so my guys, making use of all the energy that they've stored up from isolation, have just torn up the board and are in a pretty good spot to start taking skulls. Pretty happy with the run rolls and where everyone sort of is. So we'll see what happens, eh?
Yep, so we've got some Khorne, flesh hounds going over there.
So flesh hounds are back on my objective there. All the thirsters are run up. Leading the charge is the guy that is taking a beating. Other guys around there tagging, the flesh hounds are tagging that objective. Just some backup dudes, really. And then the bestigors are on that objective and are going to just charge in and beat some little ratties up. So hopefully those rats will be deleted.
Cool. Right, we'll come back with the after the charge and combat phase.
Okay, so the Bestigor did their thing and deleted those rats. So I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. So Bloodthirster went in, killed some rats. He's with return attacks, he's got 1 wound left, so that's pretty much game over for him. But the cool command ability that they have with Balfour Lords let him go in, and for a command point he could attack as if he had taken 0 wounds. So probably better than him going in. Yeah, beat up. But yeah.
Yep.
So yeah.
And then I've spent a command point to keep those rats around because we don't want them running away. So let's do the priority roll, mate, and see how we go. Okay.
Come on.
Cool. 6.
Damn.
Thank the horned rat. I was going to get blended. Now I've got a chance to actually do some damage before I get blended. So I will definitely take the turn. We'll just see if the Wrathax, you should see if your Wrathax sticks around, mate, and then you get to move some endless spells.
Okay.
It does. Wow,
Oh,
that's awesome. Oh, we forgot to mention too, the Wrathax did come in and nuked a bunch of the clan rats that were down here, which is why there was less of them.
Yep.
And I just put out the cast. It's Quicksilver Swords in my turn just for a bit of, annoyance, and just in case I lost the priority roll. Okay, so we'll come back after Skaven turn 3. Okay, so started the Skaven turn. In the hero phase, we failed to cast. So basically, we wanted to dispel the Geminids and then the swords and recast them. Unfortunately, we failed to dispel the Geminids, so I decided to leave the swords where they were. He failed to cast Dreaded Warpgar. He failed to dispel. To cast Warp Lightning, and he decided to. He actually used an Arcane Bolt to nugget the last wound off the Bloodthirster that was sitting there, and then. The Vermin then Screech did nothing as well. Screech elected to take the -1 to hit, just in case the Bloodthirster gets into him. And then in my movement phase, the Warpseer moved up because was going to have a crack at holding up the Bestigor, if not killing them. He's probably going to have a good chance of murdering them now, which is awesome. Then the Skaven shooting. These guys just kind of spread out a bit because there was another Bloodthirster that was sitting there, or a Boomthirster as we call them, but that's not there anymore, so they're going to be worried. But they basically spread out just to stop him getting into my back line because measuring out the movement, he wasn't going to be able to get his whole base back there even with a good move and charge. And then these Warp Lightning Cannons shuffled a little bit. Now what happened was the Rattling Gun shot into the Bestigor and nuggeted a few off with the extra damage thanks to the Warpstone Spark. This little star here decided to overload, and then after rolling a 6 with this one for the strength, this guy rolled a 1. hence why there's no Bloodthirster, because he took 12 wounds. 12 wounds, and then this guy took the last 2 wounds. I rolled a 3 for the strength, and he just shot 6 dice, so he's not dead yet. And away goes Bloodthirster. And then the Jezzails opened up with the extra damage on the Bestigor and killed 13 of them. 13. Yeah, so they are very much not a threat anymore. And with an interesting charge now, the Warps here, I'm hoping we'll be able to kill them all and capture that objective, which will be really cool. And he's quite a tank, so that's going to be hard, and it's going to have some interesting decisions to make. So we're going to come back with Skaven charging after the charging and combat phase.
Right. So we had down over here. The Bestigor retreated from combat, deciding that they really don't want to face that big ass rat.
Discretion is the better part of Valerie.
And then the dogs moved up. So we've got numbers here holding this objective. The Bloodthirster did a funky blood tithe move, sort of up through here to get into the rats. Then we killed some, try and delete some numbers. And then getting over here, the dogs charged in, mostly to try and reduce numbers so I can hold objectives. Mm-hmm. Now it'd be handy if I had more Bloodthirsters to make use of this big ass gap that I've got, but unfortunately I don't, and he's likely to die due to weight of fire, so we'll see what happens. But
then the other
Blood Reavers,
Blood Reavers ran over there. Shame they're not Marauders now with that extra charge thing. And in the hero phase, the big rat got blood boiled with 6 wounds. Six wounds on a blood boil, and took all 6 to the face.
He did. And
Rathax didn't come out for that. But yeah, it was a really good blood tithe move where Adam basically moved 20 inches into this, which gave plenty of options for the Bloodthirster. He came in here and deleted some of my numbers and tagged up Screech, who only did 4 wounds back to him. Okay, so let's roll for priority, sir. 4.
I've got a dog.
2. Hey, we keep the turn order going. Do you want to move? We're going to move the Geminids and the Quicksilver Swords and come back with Skaven turn 4. Okay, so Skaven turn 4. So what happened is these guys, so in the hero phase, we tried to dispel the Geminids and failed, but we did manage to dispel the swords and we recast it. Unfortunately, what it did was nuggeted one of the dogs that was down here. Okay, and then from there, we got some command points, obviously. We did a couple of wounds to the Bloodthirster that was here with Warp Lightning from the little rat down there. We then managed to do an Arcane Bolt just for an extra bit of damage, and that was about the size of it. Then in the movement phase, these guys ran up to they rolled a 6 for their movement. I had plenty of command points to use though. Anyway, and they ran up there and consolidated to put the numbers on that objective there. In the meantime, these guys, that's right, sorry, there was a big momentous. Screech used the 13th, dreaded 13th on the Marauder unit of 10 guys that was there, did 9 wounds, leaving 1 Marauder. The unit of Clan Rats got summoned off to the side here and then rolled a 12 to charge in over there, and they took out the last Marauder. Then all the Skaven shooting basically killed the Bloodthirster, or nuggeted him down to I think 2 wounds, 12 wounds to him, 2 wounds left. This guy did about 6 or 8 to him. We shot up the Fleshhounds. There was only 1 Fleshhound and 2 Bestigor left, or Bestie letters left, when the Warps here charged in over there and finished them off. And the Jezzails have done a ton of work this game. They actually split their fire and killed a couple of the Fleshhounds to leave 2 left, 1 left. Killed the last one off as well. So just a ton of work from the Skaven shooting. The Warp Lightning Cannon that was down here rolled a 2 for the strength, it had overcharged. I rolled 6 ones and it died. But it helped to nugget the Fleshhounds and just smash them up, so made it a lot easier. So we're at the end of start of turn 4, into turn 4, and we've just called it there because all that Khorne's got left now is a Slaughter Priest and this unit of Marauders, so they're just going to get towed up. Even with some sneaky blood tithe, he couldn't get guys down here to try and capture this. I'd only left two guarding the objective, given that I didn't think he could daisy chain, which he can't. He's not Slanesh. If it was Slanesh, I would have been a little bit more conservative and moved some stuff, probably even moved the Jazars up actually. So yeah, there you go. So at the end of the day, Skaven get up on victory points in Battle of the Pass against the Bloodthirster horde. It was a really interesting game, so we'll come back with some thoughts post-game commentary in a couple of minutes. Cheers. Okay, so here we are. Actually, I've got beers going. Woohoo. Lovely. Chin chin.
Cheers.
Good work. So, mate, super fun game. Really close in the end. Bit of the power of the... Gotta love that sound. Of the Skaven shooting, the Reddies kind of tipping the balance, even with only 60 clan rats on the board, backed up with a couple of big fellas to hold some things up. It actually worked really well. But yeah, a lot of fun. Really cool game. Took 5 turns to get the chocolates, which was really cool. So what did you take away from that game, mate?
Normal sort of things with the 4 Bloodthirster list. Bloodthirsters are surprisingly slow.
Yeah, with the run and charge.
The run and charge helped. Because I think without that it would have just been, I wouldn't have even made combat. But then at the end I was doing suffering what I normally suffer, lack of bodies. So just about hold objectives and do anything sort of sneaky. So but I like pushing 4 Bloodthirsters up the table. Up the table, yeah.
It is pretty cool, and you got some really awesome models. Like you got them mounted on the terrain features and stuff. They look mean. It's so good across the table. But it'd be interesting to see what would happen, because like you're not so like Tyrants of Blood. You really need the 4 so that they can get into things and just go nuke.
Yeah.
But maybe not in the current meta. I don't think they do that well. But with the amount of shooting that's around nowadays as well.
It's always an uphill battle.
Yeah, but if you dropped a blood, because if you dropped one of the Bloodthirsters, it'd be interesting to see what. I thought the last one, whilst it got into combat, it wasn't that effective anyway. So maybe if you dropped that one, whatever that Bloodthirster was,
just a whip. He's great.
Oh, is he the 6-inch pole? And I thought it was the guy that got nuked at the start. The general.
No. The general was the twin axe guy. He's the Boomthirster.
Oh, of course, that's right. Yeah.
12 mortal wounds will do that.
That's right. Yeah, it will. Yes, indeed. 12 mortal wounds from a 1+ rolling walk cannon. And then he took 2 wounds. I only took 2 wounds for overcharging. It was awesome. And then I rolled 6 ones on the second shot. It did work. It did some work though.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think that list is getting a bit tough, because that rat list isn't tuned at all. It's just a bit of fun. Would have been interesting if I had those extra endless spells, but didn't have the models for. But I don't know that I would have done much, to be fair. But no, it was really, really good. So and I learned a bit out of the Reddies as well, which was good fun. It was nice to trundle them around and take up a bit of board space.
Yeah,
with all the bodies. But having that unit, that dreaded 13 spell getting off was just excellent from Screech.
Yeah.
Having that extra unit of 9 pop on the side and hi. Yeah, that kind of tipped it.
Yeah, but I mean, from my point of view, that's the sort of stuff that makes the game fun for me. That sort of shit happening. It doesn't matter if it's me doing it or you doing it. Like, that's just
fun.
It's just fun.
It's funny. It's so funny. Yeah. Oh my god, it was awesome. So so good fun game, mate. So thanks again, and guys, hope you enjoy it. We'll be up on the channel soon, and as usual, like, subscribe, comment, share it, etc. And we'll be continuing to put up some more content. So take it easy, enjoy your beers and whatever else you're doing. All right, take it easy. Cheers.
See ya.